relationship or a marriage doesn't usually end because people have stopped loving each other. They more commonly end because one or both people have reached the limits of their capacity and they just don't know how to be happy in the relationship anymore. And it's not that the love isn't real. It's not that the desire to make it work isn't there. It's that they just don't know how to make it work anymore. And the only way out of their pain and their hurt is to leave the relationship. So if someone leaves you, it's not always because they don't love you. It's because they have literally reached the limits of their emotional capacity. They think that by staying, it's only going to get worse for the two of you, or by staying, they're just going to hold both of you back. The reason why so many relationships don't work, or why there's such a high divorce rate, is, well, number one, selection. A lot of times we get into a relationship with someone based on chemistry, based on who gives us butterflies, based on a sort of naive understanding of what a relationship entails and what love is. You know, immature love is all about, let me get my needs met. What am I getting from this? It's, I want you to be a certain way, don't change, or just change enough that I'm happy with. And mature love is, I want to meet your needs as much as I meet my own. Your well-being is as important to me as my own well-being. It's, I'm not here to change you. And we get into relationships with people before we even discover who they are on the inside. And we get into relationships with people thinking, if I love this person, we'll make it work. We get into relationships with people having never had the important conversations before moving in with them or before marrying them about children, about parents aging and then passing away, about money and about career and all these about intimacy and all these unromantic conversations that are really hard to have, but they are the backbone of what creates emotional intimacy between two people, is having these conversations. And then even if we do meet that so-called right person and we do have those important conversations, we don't have the tools. We don't learn this in school. We don't learn how to repair after an argument. We don't know how to cope with and restore connection when there is the inevitable disconnection that happens between two people during the course of their long-term relationship. We don't know how to communicate in such a way where we're not trying to win the argument. We're trying to preserve the integrity of the relationship. Our models are our parents, or our models are television, and we don't learn this in school. Life gets hard, like if you're going to be in a relationship with someone for a long time, you're going to go through so many changes. There's going to be money issues. There's going to be parents getting old and passing away. There's going to be obstacles. And there's going to be just personal obstacles with our work, with our bodies, with our health, with our mental health. And then we experience stress, and then we don't know how to cope with that stress. And we bring that stress home to our partner instead of nurturing the relationship. And we get into something called learned helplessness, where we don't know, where we think that our problem with our partner is permanent and that there's no way out. And if you are in a relationship and you think that the problems that you're having with your partner or with your spouse are permanent, then that is going to create a very specific state. You're going to feel helpless. And it's in that state of helplessness that people lose their motivation to make the relationship work. They lose their motivation to meet each other's needs. And when they lose their motivation to meet each other's needs, they also lose passion and they lose attraction. And so you've got two people who feel helpless, who have been fighting so much that they don't even feel attracted to each other. They don't even feel motivated to meet each other's needs anymore. And they think there's no better way out of this than to break up or to get a divorce. And it's really hard to pull yourself out of that learned helplessness. And it's not just one answer. It is a process of learning how to repair, learning how to be a better listener, taking responsibility for the part of you that has taken over, that is scared and overwhelmed, and then as a result, maybe doesn't fight fair or pulls away or clings or doesn't say very nice things or shuts down and withholds their love. We have to have a super, super honest reckoning with ourselves, because the habit is to want to blame the other person. It's to want to make them the problem. And it's not to say that it's 50-50. There are definitely times where one person is disproportionately more the problem. But if you love someone and you want it badly to work, but you're in that position where the only way out you see from the pain is to end the relationship. You have to have an honest reckoning with yourself. You have to be willing to look in the mirror and ask yourself how you have been contributing to whatever is not working. And that is really hard because your ego is not going to want you to do that, but it is the only way.